When we think of Inner Mongolia, we tend to picture vast expanses of flat grassland dotted with yurts and roaming sheep and horses. The truth is, though, that a vast area in the east of Inner Mongolia is desert, the source of the sandstorms that are probably the most unpleasant feature of the Beijing spring. In the eastern part of Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region lies Kurqin, a vast expanse of sand covering 50,000 square kilometers. Kurqin is one of China's 5 major deserts. At the heart of Kurqin lies the city of Tongliao. By the 1980s, the area of Kurqin sand was expanding at an annual rate of 1,600 square kilometers, which accounted for 80% of the total increase in the area of desert across the whole country. People who have never visited Kurqin may be unaware of the terrible damage done by desertification. But not the Mongolian herders who have lived here for many generations. Danghai is an ordinary Mongolian village located in the Kurqin Desert. Shirimo is the village head. Danghai is surrounded by a range of huge rolling dunes that are said to resemble a coiling evil dragon. Not content with burying the houses, the sandstorms have wreaked havoc with the local farming and animal husbandry. Sheep had long been the mainstay of the local economy, but by the 1980s, the number of sheep had dwindled so dramatically that on average, there was just 1 sheep for every 3 people. As for crop growing, the seeds would be blown away by sandstorms almost as soon as they were sown. The crop yield would be next to nothing, even after the sowing had been done 4 or 5 times. The encroaching sand steadily pushed the human residents away from their homes in Kurqin. Between 1983 and 1986, there was a mass migration of Danghai's farmers and herdsmen who were forced deeper into the heart of Kurqin to survive. In the 1970s, the authorities in Tongliao initiated a major forestation program. The aim was to curb the rapid desertification and radically improve the environment. In the western area of Kurqin, there's a large expanse of green where trees and bushes are growing among rich tall grass. The place is a reminder of what most of Kurqin used to look like, an extension of the beautiful grassland. Up until the middle of the 19th century, the Qing government had imposed a ban on private farming on the Kurqin grassland. Later, with the government easing its policy, more of the grassland was converted to farming. But the iron plows used by the farmers destroyed the original vegetation in large areas of Kurqin. The sand that had lain over 100 meters deep was blown to the surface by the constantly blowing wind, causing widespread desertification. Meanwhile, the rapid expansion of the farmland rapidly consumed what little underground water there was. Shirimo has spent the past few days visiting the villagers. He's trying to persuade them to relocate again, this time to a new site where the environment is not so harsh. But he's finding the task difficult.
这叫长胜家，这家呀一直不乐意搬，就乐意住这个条件。你这个为啥不搬？我已经来3、4次了，那你再说说看看，我看你这个为啥不搬家？
我就不搬，在这多方便呐，地呀在这有20来亩地，那个到搬吧没有地放，羊在哪放啊？
那就是那块面积是小。 但是吧，咱们不是舍私是吧？圈养完了后再发展这个咱们的这个畜牧业，你不是吗？是吧？那你就是在这待着，你这个就把那沙漠都整的啥也不是了， 越放越把这个沙漠都是整的就蹬坏了，是吧？越沙化。
习书记，咱们这不一般的是啥呢？主要就是没有地那块，没有地放牧啥的，就咱们这就靠牧业，不是吗？
做几次工作，这你们这两家我都做过工作，是吧？
So Changsheng and his family, along with his sister Gaowa and her family, refuse to move. They believe they have good reason for being so obstinate. 20 years ago, the villagers of Danghai were relocated for the second time in their history. They built new homes in various areas deep in the heart of the Kurqin desert, where they thought they would be safe from the rising winds and encroaching sand. After 2 decades of hard work, they reclaimed patches of fields from the dunes and vastly improved their living conditions. Changsheng and his family now own more than 2 hectares of farmland and several hundred head of cattle. Having worked so hard for 20 years to create this comfortable existence, they are understandably reluctant to leave. But as the village head, Xi Rimo also has good reason for advocating the relocation project. The villagers live scattered around the heart of the desert, isolated from the outside world. The growing number of randomly distributed pastures and crop fields are depleting the precious water resources, posing a major threat to the eco-environment. In order to convince the villagers to abandon their homes among the dunes, the local authorities have built a new Danghai village outside the desert. Every house is equipped with electricity and a TV set, and has a courtyard where cattle can be raised and crops and vegetables grown. Finally, Changsheng and Gaowa and their families are convinced of the advantages of the new village and agree to move. In the west of Kurqin, there is a delightful area of land covered with a shrub called Salix flavida. The bushes have grown to over 2 meters in height in just a few years, thus have a number of dunes being turned green. But will Kurqin ever be covered in greenery again, as it once was? The answer appears to lie in the reality in which humans are no longer surrendering in the face of the sand's advance, and instead taking steps to fight back.